Did you see? Did you see these idiots from PETA? I saw people retweet this. These guys. I thought this was a joke tweet. So these guys from PETA said, "Words matter, and as our understanding of social justice evolves, our language evolves along with it. Here's how to remove speciesism from your daily conversations." And then they gave quotes that we use. I've never heard "be the guinea pig," so instead of saying "beat a dead horse," they say "feed a fed horse." But that doesn't make any sense with the context of it.
Yeah, a couple of questions that I first bring up. One, speciesism. How did you not stumble over that, and how did I not stumble over it? That is the craziest word in the English dictionary. Two, all right, I get they're PETA and I get they represent animals. How do they know about the animals' feelings? There's no person in the world that knows animals' feelings. This is bullshit.
Before you know, they're gonna start suing us humans for rape and abuse and stuff like that, and making these claims. Just like the way the world's turning. The other one I liked was, instead of "take the bull by the horns," it's "take the flower by the thorns." Since when is a flower bucking and throwing you around, and that doesn't make any sense? This was hilarious. I thought it was a joke. It went viral, but it was one of my favorite things I've ever seen. I was dying when I saw that.
I hate that tweet. So let's get loaded. Because this is the Loaded Box Podcast,
where we never finish first, because we finish last.
Thank you once again for tuning in to the Loaded Box Podcast. We are your hosts, Ben Morgan and DJ Primo. This is our second preview podcast of the week. It's week 14 in the NFL. Earlier this week, we hit on some daily fantasy talk, some fantasy football talk, because it's fantasy playoffs, so that's exciting as always. Make sure you go back and check that one out. In this podcast, the everyday listeners, they know what we're going to do, but if it's your first time listening, we're going to go game by game. We're going to talk about our straight-up picks, our against-the-spread picks, and then me and DJ, throughout the entire year, we've been doing our top 3 spread picks every single week. So we're going to be indicating which ones go on our official record. But DJ, yeah, I'm just a little upset. Before we start talking about that, I can't believe it. Who has the nerve to say that, these animals have feelings? Kurt Cobain said it best, of rest in peace, Nirvana. Fish have no feelings. Who's to say that these pigs have feelings? What is this?
They can't even understand what we're saying. That's the whole stupid thing about it. They don't know what we're saying. They don't understand that we're talking about them.
I did this experiment when I had my dog. His name was Augie. If you say Augie, his ears would perk up and he'd look at you. If you said kicking bull, his ears would perk up and he'd look at you. Animals respond to words. It doesn't matter what you say. These animals don't have those kind of feelings. They don't know we're talking about them. It's bullshit.
What beer are you drinking tonight?
I am going with Old Reliable, as always. I think this is episode 172, and I think this is episode 170 that I've had a Busch Light. How about you?
I got the old Alpha Claws by Three Floyds. I've never heard of this, but you'd probably like it. It's a porter.
I was saying that sounds excellent, and you're more seasonable than I am, because that sounds a little Christmassy.
Mm-hmm. It says Christmas porter.
I like how I got you mid-drink right there, so then you had to almost spit out your beer when you said, mm-hmm.
Nothing phases me.
Yes, so
prime time.
Prime time. So we are recording this on Thursday evening, so let's just bypass tonight's game. It's a shit show anyways. Let's move right.
You know what? Let's talk about it like what happened in the game. This is going to come out either later tonight, but people probably will listen to it afterwards. I mean,
see how close we are?
Had a hell of a game. 170 yards, 2 touchdowns. The Jaguars shut them out 17-0. That's what I think happened there.
See, we must have been watching a different game here, because the Jaguars, I've been saying it all season long, literally put in a quarterback that just doesn't turn the ball over. Don't do anything, just rely on that defense. Cody Kessler became the first quarterback in the modern age of football to go 0 for 0. He didn't pass the ball tonight. All he did was not turn it over. Fournette got it done, and they won the game. That's all they've been needing to do all these years.
I think Blake Bortles I think he did a real good job when he entered the game after Cody Kessler was going 0 for 0 and got hurt, because he just handed off and got hit. So, yeah, 0 for 0 because he got hurt, and then Blake Bortles took over the reins and had a hell of a game. It was probably, 15-9 standard Jaguars Tennessee Titans game, but,
That actually is what the score probably will be. The only thing you got wrong there, Blake Bortles did come into the game. However, it was victory formation. He took 1 kneel. So he actually did worse for the team. He lost a yard. That's
So
what
we are
Blake
both
Bortles did.
we both know that the Jaguars won this game.
Yeah, the Jags won it. So if you're hearing this, you
Jags won.
already know.
Yeah, we already predicted it. And if not, Tennessee won. Just cut that part, and Tennessee won. Tennessee won as well.
Fast forward, hit the 15-second skip. Well, let's jet into Sunday's action then, and let's start with a little. I don't want to start with this one. Let's go to the Bills and the Jets.
Bills Mafia.
Bills Mafia versus Jets Mafia.
I love it when you just don't do in my order. All right. So Jets are playing in Buffalo in this game. It is currently over-under. No surprise here. It is 38 points. And the Bills are favored by 3 with, the all-star running Mitch Trubisky quarterback and Josh Allen at home. What do you think here? You started off.
I'll start this one off. So straight up and against the spread, I'm actually taking the Bills in this one. I just think that Josh Allen's going to continue to find a little bit of success here. He's not this year. I don't see him lighting it up, passing the ball yet. I don't think it's going to be there. But that Jets secondary is beatable. I think he'll have a couple of passing touchdowns. And I think that running continues. I don't really believe in the Jets defense right now. And man, the Jets started off the season with that huge win against the Lions, and it's just been a slow trickle ever since. They really haven't been able to back up that performance. I'm going to go with the Bills here. I don't think it's enough points.
Yeah, I would actually take the Bills as well. They have a top 10 defense, essentially.
Yeah.
Jets turn the ball over too much. Don't really have a running game. Don't really have very good wide receivers. Don't trust McCown. It's in Bills Mafia. Yeah, they should easily, actually. It's weird to say, but with Josh Allen, they play a little bit better. That defense is really good, really good. The Jets will struggle to score if they score at all.
I agree.
I would be surprised if they do score a touchdown in this game. Maybe a field goal off of some stupid turnover or a defensive touchdown. But offensively, I don't think they score. Yeah, I would not want. This looks like another. They both should be playing tonight. The Jaguars and the
they should move this game to
Jets
Thursday.
Bills doubleheader. Get that shit out of the way.
That would be fantastic. We should vouch the NFL for that. The only thing I forgot out was the kicker, and not the actual kicker, but the kicker in this one is Rachel Bush. I saw on social media she's going to be there again. I'm giving the Bills even a little bit more of an advantage just because of her. So
hopefully something happens so we can tweet at her again.
I'm praying something happens. We'll tweet at her anyways.
I hope she has a wardrobe malfunction.
Always. Let's move on to a game that she will not be at. It is the Cleveland Browns and the Carolina Panthers.
America. I mean, I just have to research as you say these. I don't even know where I am, so I'm just rambling right now. What order do you get these in? All right, Carolina Panthers in Cleveland. Wow. The over-under is 47, and the Panthers are only 1-point favorites. The Panthers are struggling now. If I have to pick a side, they're both coming off. The Panthers have lost 3 in a row, right? Is that correct? I'm pretty sure
Panthers
that's right.
are in cold.
The Browns came off of probably one of their worst games of the year. Who did they play last week? I can't remember, but I know they sucked.
Yeah, they were bad news. I watched part of that game too. They actually played the Texans.
Yeah, so they played one of their worst games of the year against the Texans. I think a lot of people were on the Browns as well in that game. The way the Panthers have been playing, I can't see myself picking the Browns as home underdogs. They've been playing better under Greg Williams without Hugh Jackson there. I think they play a little better at home. They're more comfortable. And the Panthers are just so bad right now. I can't see myself justifying picking them. And after watching Cam Newton and forgetting that his arm is a noodle, because I haven't had to see him try to throw it downfield until last week, his arm is garbage.
Did you see
he needs to let his shoulder rest.
Did you see he didn't practice? He didn't throw in the session of practice today that was open to the media. He didn't throw.
That's because he threw a deep ball at the end of that game, and I didn't think it was ever going to get there. It looks like a legitimate shot put. Like he's struggling to even get it out.
Right.
And I know it's not his fault. He obviously had maybe one of the strongest arms in the NFL when his shoulder was healthy.
Oh, easily top 3, yeah. Yeah.
And he does give them the best chance to win, but if they gotta make plays at the end of a game, I don't know if I trust him. But I think the Browns are just overall more talented right now, and McCaffrey's the only guy in that Panthers offense that I'm too worried about.
I know. I actually thought maybe we'd be on different sides of this one, but we're not. I'm taking the Browns as well. It's actually 4 losses in a row for Carolina. Ever since they got smoked by Pittsburgh on that Thursday night game, they've lost 4 in a row, both straight up and against the spread.
Yeah, it is 4 in a row.
And you said this game is at Cleveland?
It sure is.
At Cleveland, the Carolina Panthers straight up this season are 1-5 on the road. If they could only play home games, they'd be solid. They're 5-1. They just cannot get it done on the road. So every single reason you said, plus those added ones there, yeah, I've got the Browns in this one. So let's see what else we got on the list here. Ooh, you want to talk Packers-Falcons right away? Get that one out of the way for you?
Yeah, let's do it. So the Packers are playing at home this week. They are 5-point favorites, and the over-under in this game is 50. It might snow, but I don't think snow really affects anything, according to Aaron Rodgers. I do expect them to – this is one of my officials' pick. I do expect them to come out and play a little bit better. They got rid of, obviously, McCarthy, and I don't know if you heard. Did you see that tweet by Winston Moss?
I did, yep.
Yeah, so he came after Rodgers a little bit. So his body language has been mad. I expect them to come out a little fired up and have probably a better game than they have. They're playing against a terrible Falcons defense. That being said, I'm taking the Falcons +5 in Green Bay here. Because you know what? Fuck the Packers. Right now, I'm going for a top 10 pick. And I know the Falcons suck right now. But right now, you have to assume that the Green Bay Packers cannot win a game by 6 points. They just lost to the Arizona Cardinals at home. The Arizona Cardinals. They lost to the Arizona Cardinals. I don't even know if I can make fun of the Vikings anymore for losing to the Bills at home.
Probably not, no.
The Cardinals, I believe, are a worse team than the Bills at this point.
Right.
I really do. And guess what? Joe Philbin is the same fucking guy McCarthy is. He's a stupid... He's this stubborn, egotistical maniac that thinks he's better than he is and then won't budge from his spot. And McCarthy and him have the same... Joe Philbin took McCarthy's offense and took it to Miami.
Yep.
With a worse quarterback and worse talent, and you saw how it translate with that. So you can see, you basically can mirror those two offenses and realize how bad McCarthy actually was. People are talking Aaron Rodgers shit. Just look at Philbin in Miami. That's McCarthy anywhere else besides Miami, and you guys will see that when McCarthy's hired by some team and he just makes them look like trash because he doesn't have Aaron Rodgers. I don't trust Green Bay with Joe Philbin and them saying that he's got a legitimate. I saw odds going into the season for next season of the Packers, who's going to be the Packers head coach, and Joe Philbin wasn't even on that list.
Yeah.
And they're saying he's a serious candidate.
Joe Philbin can never, I said this to you, Joe Philbin can never be a serious head coaching candidate ever again.
Mm-hmm.
Like, after witnessing him with the Dolphins, he is not a leader of men. Like you said, he tries to run a straight ship and everything, but the players literally just don't respect him at all whatsoever.
I don't even know if he respects himself anymore.
No, I look at this game and I hate picking a side here. I took Atlanta straight up, but against the spread, I don't like it one way or the other.
Oh, 2 units for me, by the way.
2 units for you on the Falcons. All right. I'm actually, it's not an official pick for me, but I'm going to go over. I just think some of these times when you see these coaches get fired mid-season, everyone knows I'm a Dolphins fan, so I think back to when Philbin did get fired. Philbin got fired. The next 2 weeks, the team scored over 40 points per game when they were just terrible on offense. Look at the Browns this year. Their offense was just kind of stuck. They weren't really getting it done. Hugh Jackson goes boom. Baker Mayfield starts turning into. He goes on like a 3 or 4 week stretch where he starts scoring points. Get McCarthy out of the way here. Let Rodgers maybe do a little bit more of his own thing. I think this is going to be a little bit more of a back and forth game. It's 2 teams that have 4 wins. It's not going to mean anything end of the day. But I actually think this might be an exciting game. I'm sort of excited for it. I think there's going to be points scored. I think it's over 50. It's not an official play, but it's close.
I honestly could see the Packers kind of just like whooping up on the Falcons a little bit, just because I think Rodgers now is at the point where since McCarthy's not there, he doesn't care about Philbin, that he's just going to like. The rumor is Rodgers changed a lot of the plays, and I bet if you went and he told you which plays he changed, those were probably mostly successful plays compared to McCarthy's plays. So
right.
There's a difference. Plus, he had Jamal Williams on the team, so was he trying to make us fail by putting Jamal Williams out there in the second half? McCarthy was doing that, but I wouldn't be surprised to see Rodgers just do whatever the fuck he wants. Like, ignore Philbin's call and then just call whatever he wants.
Right.
Because
what's Philbin going to do about it?
What are they going to do? We're paying the guy, $150
right.
million a year, or not a year, but overall, and he's just like the highest paying quarterback of all time. What are they going to do? They're going to fire Aaron Rodgers.
Right.
Do whatever he wants. We're not going to make the playoffs. call whatever you want, Rogers. Do whatever you want.
I was thinking about this earlier today, and I think this is funny, and it's a super great example of how winning cures everything in the NFL and just in sports in general. I mean, living in Wisconsin, we see it all the time. The amount of people that were just furious with McCarthy, not just this year, but previous years as well. Even when the Packers were making Super Bowls, it was like McCarthy's holding his team back. But it just always got shoved under the rug because the team was winning. Look at Tom Brady and Bill Belichick and the Patriots last offseason. It was like, oh my God, even during the year, it's like, oh, they're going to break up. And like there was this huge story about how there was so much tension between everyone. They're winning, they make the Super Bowl, and they're winning again this year. Boom, it's under the rug. It's under the rug. Now all of a sudden the Packers have 4 wins through like 13 weeks. Boom, it's over, and these other coaches coming out and tweeting and stuff, and he gets fired, and it's just like in complete shambles. We see Clinton Dix get traded. Ty Montgomery's shown the door. It's just funny. It's a great example of how, man, if you're winning, we'll put up with a lot of shit. But once we start losing and the wheels fall off, see ya. It's over. I love it.
Don't forget, though, Aaron Rodgers and the Packers will be and are still the kings of the NFC North, because when you win like 8 conference or division championships in the row, you can win. You know, the Vikings can get one in there. The Bears finally might get one in there, and you can get excited that one year. But guess what? Probably the next 5 years, the Packers are just going to do it again, and then you guys all be quiet. And it's cyclical. So that's just what's going to happen until Aaron Rodgers doesn't exist anymore.
We've got some loyal Vikings listeners that I'm sure will not be happy to hear that, and they're going to call you
Vikings
Homer Boy.
Can't say shit
it's always
because they're not even going to make the goddamn playoffs either.
It's Homer Boy, Vikings fans. I'll call it to him so you don't have to. It's
the
Homer
Bears
Boy.
are a good football team. They're going to win the division. The Vikings aren't good enough. They're going to lose a couple more games. They don't have a chance. They aren't good either.
Let's move on.
The Packers aren't good, but the Vikings aren't good either. It's just fact.
Oh, here we go. I'm going to move on before someone knocks on your door and tries to take you out here, and I don't have a podcast partner anymore. Let's move on to the Chiefs and the Ravens.
Alrighty then. This one is, you know what I find interesting? Looking at the, we get our spreads from scoresandodds.com, and below the spreads it shows like who's out or who's questionable. Scores and odds here, they have Joe Flacco with a question mark, and then next to it they have Kareem Hunt. He's not even on the football team. Like, why even put him out there?
They didn't get the memo.
For your information, like they're helping us out.
Yeah, like no one knew. Like you needed to go to this website to know that Kareem Hunt might not play.
I just thought that was it, but it doesn't even say like out or probable, or it just says Kareem Hunt, KCRB Kareem Hunt. It's not even. They're giving you false information for Christ's sake. If anything,
his legs probably still
tired. The Ravens. This is a good game here. So Ravens are playing in Kansas City. Spread is obviously the Chiefs are favored by 6.5. The over-under in this game is 51.5, which is an interesting over-under because you would expect the Ravens to be able to make some spots, right?
Yeah, you'd hope
Stops,
so.
because their defense has been great this year.
That's been
so
really good.
I think that over-under makes me nervous. I don't want to touch it one way or the other because Chiefs go over, but the Ravens can stop people and they go under. So if I'm going to choose a side here, I don't think the Ravens are a good football team. And I did on record say Lamar Jackson can go off, but I don't think his going off is enough to beat the Chiefs. And if I had to side with somebody, I'm definitely siding with the Chiefs at home. 6.5. You don't need a running game against the Ravens because they're going to stuff your run anyway, so I don't think Kareem Hunt would make a huge difference in this game. It's all about Patrick Mahomes and those wide receivers. And that the difference maker probably is going to be Travis Kelce in this game. I think he has a big game in this game, and I honestly, I've never thought the Ravens were a great football team. I think the Chiefs kind of expose them. They probably give up a few more points than that they'd like, but that's just the Chiefs' defense. Let's take the Chiefs' side on this one.
Yep, it's a clean sweep for the Chiefs. It's not an official play for me, but what I think here is if the Chiefs get rolling, how are the Ravens ever going to come back in this game?
Yeah, that's a good point.
Like Lamar Jackson hasn't proven that he can get it done with just his arm. And yeah, the Ravens do have a good defense. This will be one of the better defenses the Chiefs play all season. But man, they can't stop him every single time. Like I have a feeling the Chiefs are still going to score some points. And even if the Chiefs score 4 touchdowns, which is like another touchdown below their average, or 3 touchdowns and a field goal or 2. Are the Ravens even going to be able to score enough to hang in within that touchdown? I don't know that I feel confident enough saying that they would. So not an official pick, but I'm with you. I have to go the Chiefs on this one as well. Let's look at the Saints and the Buccaneers. If you remember back to week 1, The Bucks actually beat
Oh
the
yeah,
Saints. So long time ago. It's a whole different world ago. But
Fitzpatrick game.
yeah, so Fitzmagic. What do we got here?
Okay, so this game is in Tampa Bay this time. Jameis Winston is the starting quarterback. The over-under is 56, and the Saints are favored by 9 points. Honestly, I'm going to give you 2 picks here. I'm going to give you the side, and I'm going to give you the over-under, and then you're going to parlay those. And you're going to win a bunch of money. So for the side, I'm taking the Saints, coming off of their worst game of the year. Sean Payton, Drew Brees, Michael Thomas, Mark Ingram, Alvin Kamara, Traquan Smith, all these guys are going to get out on the action. They may all score a touchdown, and they might all score 2. They might have 8 touchdowns in this game. All those guys are going to get in on the action, bunch of yards, bunch of touchdowns. They're going to blow the Buccaneers out of the water. Not only are they revenging that first game, they are revenging the last game that they played in. Was that a Thursday night game too? So I think they're on 10 days rest.
Oh yeah, because when they played Dallas.
Yeah, so they're on 10 days rest coming off of one of their worst losses. They're coming out for blood. Buccaneers have a terrible defense. Play every saint that you have. Play Traquan, play Thomas, play Ingram, play Kamara. I mean, maybe even throw, what's the tight end's name out there? So I'm giving
Arnold.
Yeah, that guy. And then take the over. Just do it. Fuck it. 56 points. Go over. Side parlay for the win. The Saints aren't going to... They'll score in the 40s. What do they average? 38 points a game or something like that? Yeah. They're going to score in the 40s.
They're putting up 35.
Will score a couple touchdowns. What?
Yeah, they're putting up 35. And the nice thing about them this year is they're actually only giving up 22 and a half.
Yeah. So you take both those. Side parlay. It's not one of my official picks, but looking at it, take it.
Yeah, not an official pick for me. I just don't think that's enough points. So I'm with you on the Saints. I was just looking at their records here. When they went on that 10-game winning streak, they won 9 of those games against the spread in a row. Like, up until they played Dallas, they were 9 for their last 9. I sort of see that Dallas game as just kind of a minor hiccup. If they played again, I'm taking the Saints. Like, even with the spread, I'm taking the Saints in that game. And Dallas's defense has proven to be one of the better defenses in the league. We thought preseason that they'd be pretty good. I think they're better than what I even expected. And the Buccaneers defense is nowhere near on that same page. For that reason alone, definitely taking the Saints. I don't have a feel on that over-under, but definitely taking the Saints with you on that one.
Just gave the people a parlay. You're welcome.
Yeah, book it. Let's talk about the Redskins and Giants.
Why don't you update our terrible season?
Man, I feel so bad. I forgot to do it. I remembered last week, and then this week I totally forgot. Okay, so DJ, it finally happened. You, after your week last week, I don't even want to say the numbers out loud, but he went 0-3. You lost 8 units last week, bringing actually our total year-to-date record. We are dead even now. Me and you, we're dead even. We're 17, 21, and 1. The difference is I'm down 9 units, you're down 13 units. So, man, we got some coming back to do. But I made it this week. If I hit all my plays, I will be at 0. I'll be dead even for the week. And this next game I want to talk about is my first game, and it's a 2-unit play. Do you want me to jump right into it?
Who is it?
It's the Redskins and the Giants.
Oh, you fucking... Just with your terrible language here. All right, so Redskins... We're in Washington. Damn it, I said it now too.
Yep.
The over-under is 41, and the Giants on the road are favored by 3.5, playing shitty Washington Stadium with no quarterbacks with any legs. All their quarterbacks have no legs.
You set that up perfectly.
Go for it.
Okay, so this is my first official pick. I got 2 units on this one, and I'm taking the racial slurs. They're getting 3.5 here.
Paraplegics.
The paraplegics. Yes, that too. Oh my gosh, yes.
That might be offensive too.
Right. Either way, man. Either way, whatever their team name is, someone's going to have an issue with it. Yeah. But man, that Giants just kind of recently been a little bit on a hot streak. They've won 3 of their last 4, both straight up and against the spread. But look at those wins. They played the 49ers, the Buccaneers, and the Bears without Mitch Trubisky. So I'm not really considering that one much of a quality win. I'm not breaking any news here. I like the Giants' offense better than breaking leagues or news here. I like the Giants' offense better than the Redskins. That's not anything anyone would disagree about. But I like the Washington Redskins' defense a whole lot better Paraplegics defense a whole lot better than I like the Giants defense. And that's why I also like this game, because you're getting the hook on at home. And that Redskins defense, the Paraplegics defense, if you've been watching them, the last few weeks that defense has been exposed a little bit, but they've been going against some solid teams. If you look back earlier in October, they did beat the Giants 20-13. So they already have a win at them at the Giants. So now here's the rematch time. But so much has changed since that game. You basically hit the nail on the head. Alex Smith, boom, broken leg. They're thinking that his career might be over. So who pops in? Colt McCoy. Boom, I'm going to follow suit. I'm going to break my leg. Who comes in now? Yeah, someone was saying that to them as they walked into the stadium. Hey, break a leg, that whole thing, and they literally listened, idiots.
Yeah.
Who comes in? Butt fumble. Mark Sanchez, he comes in. Most people would be like, okay, this kind of sucks. I'm definitely not betting on a team led by Mark Sanchez. The good thing about having Mark Sanchez, though,
he's really good at handing it off.
He's super good at handing it off, and two, he's been around the block. He's not some rookie that you're just throwing in there. And he's seen good defenses in the past. This Giants defense is not good. They're not going to throw anything his way that he hasn't seen before. I'm totally confident in him, for how weird that sounds. You're getting the hook at home here against a divisional rival. I like the Redskins, 2 units.
And look, nobody's disputing the fact that, judging off of Mark Sanchez' GQ appearances with no shirt on, that he's been around the block. We all know that. But he's still a shitty quarterback who's played for a good defensive team.
Yeah, you can win with it.
I don't care about Mark Sanchez's sex life that you're talking about here. We're talking football.
How did you know what I was talking about?
I don't care about his sex life. I am taking the Giants, who are playing some of their best football right now, against the team playing against Mr. Butt Fumble here, who I know made a joke today. I think everybody thought he was kind of funny. I didn't hear it because I just didn't want to see him talk. But I'm taking the hot team. The the Paraplegics defense has been terrible ever since Guess Who showed up.
Guess who showed? Oh, since Ha-Ha showed up.
Ha-Ha showed up.
Ha-Ha, joke's on you.
Hey, Ha-Ha, you guys can have him. Your defense going to suck. That's what the backers said. Have him. He's not going to tackle anybody. I used to love Ha-Ha, Clint Dick, so I hate making fun of him, but he worked good in that Pens defense, I think. It changed well, but I like the Giants here. I think they continue their hot streak. They go in. They beat the Washington Paraplegics with no quarterbacks, defense getting worse. They just have too many weapons. I just can't wait till they get rid of Eli. They might actually have a chance to win the division next year.
Agree to disagree. With that, since we disagreed on this one, we're going to disagree again here in the future.
Here we go.
Before we get to that one, real quick, just want to tell you about Pristine Auction real quick. Head over to their website. It's pristineauction.com. They've got tons of goods for the man cave. They've partnered with us again on our latest giveaway. It's a Davante Adams signed Blaze mini helmet. One of the top fantasy producers this entire season, despite being on a 4-win team that DJ's upset about. But you can get signed up to win that giveaway. Make sure you follow us on Twitter. We're at LoadedBox. Find the tweet where we talk about the giveaway. Retweet it, tag a friend. Make sure that you're showing us that you are subscribed to the podcast on either iTunes or Google Play, and you will be entered for your chance to win. We're going to be making that announcement in the middle of this month. So, DJ, since we disagreed on that one, I don't know if we're going to disagree on this next one. That's not the one I wanted to talk about. But this is an AFC South battle, and this has actually turned into quite the matchup with the way that the Colts have kind of come charging back here. I know they lost last week to the Jags, but they're playing a tough game here against the Texans, and the Texans are, looking good on defense, getting things turned around on offense. What do you got here for the Texans and Colts?
I am scrolling.
I only set that up for a good 20 seconds,
and
you still couldn't find it.
All right, I got it. Suck it. All right, so Colts are playing at Houston. Colts are coming off they played maybe their worst game by far of the year.
Yep.
Andrew Luck played his worst game. They beat the Jaguars pretty good last time.
Yep.
No touchdowns scored in that game. That one was really exciting. Really exciting. Could you imagine how much better the Jaguars would have played if they had Blake Bortles? They would have had at least 3 touchdowns.
They would have lost 7-6.
Shutout.
He'd have thrown a pick 6. They'd have lost 7-6.
No doubt. Playing in Houston, Houston's favored by 5. The over-under is 49.5. This one's tough. I've been betting against the Texans a lot, and I've been failing ever since my first 3 weeks when I told you all to bet against the Texans, and I was right. And they went 0-3 for those first 3 weeks, and then since then they've won, 9 games in a row now?
Yeah, you pegged that to begin the season, and you never said it was going to last, but you pegged it to begin the season.
I'm going to go against the Texans again. I like teams that come off, you know what, this is a division game. Colts want to win it. They want to make the playoffs. Texans are riding high. Think they're going to make some mistakes. Again, I still think Deshaun Watson isn't that good, so you're going to see some failures out of that piece of shit. But some loud noises upstairs. I don't know if you heard that.
No,
a lot of Legos falling there. Andrew Luck turned it around. He's had a great season. He's had in that. I can't bet against a great quarterback ever coming off of a really bad game. When I see that, don't care if it's on the road and they're dogs. I think this game's going to be close no matter how it ends. So even if I do think they can win or will win. But if they lost, I think it would be by a field goal at worst. It'd be somewhere towards the end of the game. I'd be on Andrew Luck's side here.
Man, you got off that Texans, that fade the Texans strategy that you used the first 3 weeks at the perfect time because they lost all 3 of those games straight up and against the spread. And I think a lot of people know what they've done ever since. They've won every single game since, straight up. They've won 9 in a row. They've only lost 2 against the spread during that time, and they pushed once. So, yeah, they have just been on a heater. But for how much I don't want to agree with you on this, you don't hardly ever see elite quarterbacks like that falter 2 games in a row. So while I think that Houston, gosh, they have my pick for this one, but I almost think that if you're getting points in this situation with the Colts, I almost feel like you need to take Andrew Luck in the points. The one thing I would say, though, about Indianapolis is their defense is, well, I don't know what just happened to my screen here, but Indianapolis, their defense has been playing good like you'd think statistically lately. But, man, look at the teams and the quarterbacks they've played lately. New York Jets, Buffalo Bills, Oakland Raiders, Jacksonville, Tennessee, Miami, Jacksonville again. Where's the quality of offense that they're playing?
That's a tough point to make, though.
What do you mean?
Because the Texans play pretty much all these same teams that the Colts play.
That is true. I will give you that. I mean, they obviously have similar. Have similar opponents,
You're in a pretzel
right there.
now, bitch.
I'm gonna pretzel your sister's wife. Your sister bisexual? Anyway, I honestly look at this game and I think it's the hardest one on the board to pick. I instantly had Houston, but what you said about the whole elite quarterback thing, sucking it up twice, is that really going to happen? What was the spread here?
5 points, Texans. I think I'm going to track every pick this week, and I think I'm going to have one of my best weeks ever.
Give me the Texans straight up, but the Colts against the line. That's how I'm doing this one.
I just want to let you guys know that, just like the Packers, I fired my coach because we started off hot, and then it's went bad, really, really bad since. So I went ahead and fired my coach, looking to bounce back here. So you know what? I'm making the decisions now. I'm calling the plays. You know what? Somebody else was calling the plays for me before. I'm doing it at this point. Some like other like schizophrenic version of me was calling the plays. I fired that guy. The real DJ Primo's back from September. We're gonna make some plays happen. Fired that coach. Now I'm in here to make us win.
See, chaos happened. DJ took care of his problem. But the thing is, you took care of it early enough. You didn't let it drag in the next year like the Packers.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, this is the game that I am most excited to talk about. And it's the Dolphins game, but I don't care about the Dolphins in this matchup. You hardly ever see me do this. I'm usually a 2 to 3 unit play kind of guy, pretty conservative with the betting. I'm throwing out a 5-unit bet this week. Can you
Holy shit, I haven't even given any of the information on this game.
What do you... Oh, yeah, I'm just saying, you can jump in. I'm just teasing it by... It's a 5-unit play. I am maxing this puppy out. Go ahead and give the spread and the over-under and everything you want to say.
I was worried that you weren't going to let me set it up.
Oh, no.
But you were pre-setting up the setup. All right. So
Bingo.
I ruined it. Fuck. God damn it. Let's take a moment of silence for me killing that setup. Okay, so the Patriots are playing in Miami. The over-under here is 47 points, and the Patriots are favored by a sultry 7 points. Now, I'll let you get to yours since we did set that up, so people are going to listen to me. This game's going over. The average points are around 48 points. The Dolphins have no defense at all. Tannehill can score a little bit. I still think, again, the Patriots defense isn't that good. The Dolphins defense isn't good, period.
Nope.
As long as hopefully they get the ball to Kenyon Drake a little bit. I still don't know that, but they can score. They can score some points. They can make some things happen with Kenny Stills, Kenyon Drake. Ryan Tannehill is playable. He's a starting. It's weird. It's kind of weird. I don't know what he is, Ryan Tannehill. He'd be the best backup in the league if he became a backup.
Yeah, he's a good backup.
But he's one of the worst starting quarterbacks in the league, so you don't really know where to have him. But he's good enough. The Dolphins typically play. I think it's the Patriots pretty good at home, don't they? Or is it usually on the road they play them well?
No, Tannehill and the Dolphins are you. That's like I'll get to that point, but they do play well in Miami with Tannehill against the Patriots.
That's what I thought.
Better,
so I'm going to take I don't want to touch the spread on this one because I don't trust the Patriots, so I don't know what's going to happen there. I don't think they're that good of a team. I think they're in a great conference to be in the AFC. And even better in their division in the AFC East.
Let me interrupt real quick on that because I'm with you. More often than not, you'd think that. But everyone gives that division a bad rap. But the Patriots are obviously making the playoffs as the division winner every year. Last year, the Bills made the playoffs. The year before that, the Dolphins made the playoffs. Why is that division getting so much hate?
Because it's so bad that they beat up on each other and then play other shit teams in the AFC. Because you have the AFC South, who's typically really bad, and you have the AFC East is a bunch of bad teams. So if you face a couple of those guys and have a bad opponent in the opposite NFC, you can sneak in because you only need like an 8-8 record to get in the wild card.
That's rough. You don't need to.
Okay, sorry, 9-7 record to get the wild
Thank
card.
you.
So you need to be one game above 500. I'm hitting the over in this one. I think you could get close to the over in the first half of this game.
Wow.
Of 47.
I really liked what you said about Tannehill because, yeah, he's the guy that you can plug and play. He's fine. He's just not going to do it. One of the Dolphins beat writers had hit the best description that I've seen about him yesterday. I read this tweet. It was, Ryan Tannehill is basically like taking a girl to like Applebee's or TGI Fridays. You'll get her fed, but it ain't going to get you laid. Like, that is the perfect thing. Like, he's not going to seal the deal for you. He's going to get you in the game, but he's never
Feed a fed horse.
Oh, whoa, you circled back so well on that. But,
that was good.
Yeah, not Tannehill related, or I guess it's Tannehill related, it's the Dolphins. But one struggle, if you had to say there was a struggle for New England over the last 15 years against the Dolphins, it's been games in Miami. However, this game instantly became a 5-unit play for me as soon as I saw the news that Xavier Howard is likely out, maybe even for an extended period of time. I don't know who's going to cover Julian Edelman at this point. I don't know who's covering Josh Gordon. I have no idea who can cover Rob Gronkowski. And now you have a trio of running backs you need to deal with and a Hall of Fame quarterback. Even if the Dolphins do find some sort of success offensively, there's no way, in my opinion, they're going to be able to score enough to hang with New England in this one. The last 2 weeks for the Dolphins, they scored on their first possession of the game. That hasn't happened in forever. It's been like a year or two since they scored. But every time they've done that, it's almost like they've used up all their good plays. They show no creativity whatsoever, and they get like 3, 4, 5, 3 like play possessions after that. Like there's no offensive success following that. So it's just terrible. So I'm not really even that nervous, even if the Dolphins get out to a quick score. Like, getting all the points here, I'm not even nervous about that. The Dolphins are beyond depleted at wide receiver right now. You hit it with Kenyon Drake. They don't use him enough. I don't trust Tannehill. The defense is going to be in scramble mode without Howard. Man, I know too much about the Dolphins. I think they're going to get exposed here. You can bet anything you want on this game on New England. It is my lock of the year. Give me the Patriots, all those points.
I'm going to change my mind on this game. I'm going to add this to my card just right now off the whim. I'm going to add this as a 4-unit game.
From nothing to 4.
You know what? I'm just going to add it. It's not on my card, but I noticed something that makes me favor one side of this. I'm going to take. I haven't bet. I'm taking a betting hiatus. I might bet this game. I'm going to take the Dolphins at home.
Oh
plus
my
7.
gosh!
And here's why. This game opened You know what this game opened at?
Like 9 or 9.5.
9 points. What's the current spread?
7.
7. You know what that tells me?
It means they want Patriot money.
No.
Yeah, that's exactly what that means.
I don't think that's it at all. I think there's something a little bit more to this. There's something a little bit more to this. You don't go from 9 down to 7, and because all the money's going to be on the Patriots, but you would think it would already be on the Patriots because it's the Dolphins -9 anyways. I think there's a different story in that game. I don't think it's a sharp bet. I see something fall 2 points like that when it's the Patriots involved in Miami, not a very good football team. I like Miami in this game just because of that drop. That's too many points.
What I don't understand about that drop, too, is because I'm like, okay, it opened at 9, and now all of a sudden, that was before Howard was ruled out.
It usually drops like a half point or a point, but that's 2-point drop.
It went the other way. Like,
yeah.
I wouldn't have been surprised if it had went up to 11.
That's what I'm saying. You told me that Howard was out and it went down to 7? That doesn't make sense. I'm all in on the Dolphins.
All right, we're going to go head-to-head on this one because I'm all in on the Patriots. Where did I leave off here? Let's tune into the Chargers and the Bengals.
Go, Chargers, go. You think I'll find this game at some point or no?
I doubt it.
So, the Bengals are playing in, not San Diego, but L.A. Chargers are 14-point favorites, and the over-under here is 47.5. Andy Dalton's dead. Melvin Gordon's dead. Dead! Jeff Driscoll's the quarterback. I like the face that you're making at me right now.
Scared me.
This is an interesting game. Chargers are a weird team to me that they had a blowout earlier, but they never really blow people out. So when I see 14 points for the Chargers, no matter how bad the Bengals are right now, I can't see myself betting the Chargers 14 points because they don't want to, but they accidentally keep games close. They've got no Melvin Gordon. Austin Eckler sucks. I know I told you we should have talked about Justin Jackson. I got to be on the Bengals side right now. I just can't see the Chargers winning any games by a ton of points, no matter who it's got. I just can't see it. They don't blow people out on the majority of times. They're the historic keep it close and lose or somehow win, but by a few points. They don't blow people out. It's not what they do.
What did you have for an over-under on this one?
47.5.
14. I'll take the over. I don't have. It's not one of my official plays, but if I'm betting on this game, obviously straight up I'm taking the Chargers.
Yes.
But with an actual bet here, I'd have to lean over. I mean, I think the Chargers. I mean, they score every single week. They're averaging over 28 per game, and the Bengals give up 30 or 31, I think, per game right now. And yeah, I mean, I expect the Bengals offense to struggle a little bit with Jeff Driscoll, but he's kind of been around a little bit too, and they still got Joe Mixon. Green's out now. They still got Boyd. But yeah, like you said, I sort of feel like the Chargers are a team that will let a team hang a little while. So in that case, if the Chargers do put up their typical 28 to 30 points and the Bengals hang within a touchdown or even 10 points, that's a guaranteed 50 points right there. So I'm going to have to go over in this one. Next. Broncos and the 49ers.
So, what time is that game at, you think? Okay, here we go. The Broncos are playing in San Francisco this game. The spread is 3.5. Broncos are favored by 3.5 points. The over-under is 45.5 here. Some bad news for the Broncos. Emmanuel Sanders, your boy, tore his Achilles right off of his leg in the very end of practice, from what I hear. This could be a garbage game. No, who's playing quarterback? Or wait, never mind. Sorry, who's playing wide receiver? Who is playing quarterback? Fucking Nick Mullins and Case Keenum.
Yeah,
this
what a matchup.
Who's who of quarterbacks. Anyways, Cortland Sutton. It's basically a Cortland Sutton game in this game. I don't know what to think. If I have to go one way or the other with the over-under being 45.5, I think I'm going to go over. 49ers don't have much of a defense. I know that the Broncos are missing a wide receiver. I think I'm talking too much about this game already, so I'm just going to stop right now and just say over.
Yeah, I was a little surprised. This is not an official pick for me. I was surprised. This line opened at 5.5. It went down to 3.5. I thought 5.5 was maybe a little bit light. The 49ers just have not been impressive. They have 2 wins all season. And I know the Broncos, they're only 6-6. It's not like they're setting the world on fire here. But the X factor, which has been for the Broncos all season, and who I think is going to have another monster game this week, especially with Emmanuel Sanders out, is Phillip Lindsay. I think he's going to have a field day. I don't see the Broncos having much of an issue winning this game by a touchdown, so I have to go Denver here.
I don't know. I don't think I would bet a side in this game, so I'm going to just stick with the over. I like points.
You stick with the over. I'll go with the Broncos, and we'll move on to the Cowboys and the Eagles. Intriguing game here.
So, the Cowboys are favored by 3.5 in Dallas, and the over-under is 44. Why don't you go ahead first?
Oh, this is such a tough game for me. If it wasn't for that Colts and Texans game, this would probably be the hardest one for me to bet. And you know me, man, when it's a divisional game like this and the two teams are equal, I tend to always lean with the home team. What I hate in this point, because you said it was 3.5.
Mm-hmm.
That's what scares me is that hook. I'd probably buy the hook.
Don't say it.
I had to work that in at some point today.
I knew it was coming.
And the one thing about the Eagles, too, I mean, yeah, I still kind of am an Eagles believer. I wouldn't be shocked whatsoever if they win that division. I mean, if they win this and the Redskins lose, they're tied with the Cowboys at 7-6 for the division lead.
Paraplegics.
What?
Paraplegics.
I'm sorry, man. I'm slow on that one right now. My bad.
I think it's just fun to say it whenever you say the R word, so I'm just going to keep doing it.
The one thing about the Eagles, too, this year, though, is just they haven't been all that great against the line. They're only 4-8 against the spread, so they've been a little disappointing everywhere. Like I said, I'm just going to play with the home team in this one. I don't have much of a feeling on it. Not an official play, but I'm taking the Cowboys.
I love this game.
You do?
Just love this game.
Wow.
This is a card for me.
Oh.
I am taking Philadelphia plus 3.5 in Dallas. I carded this game. I truly think Dallas and Dak are an average to below average football team. I really do. They've had some exceptional games. I just don't think they're as good as what they are. Philadelphia is what they have looked these last couple of games. Philadelphia's run defense can cause problems for this Dallas run game, which in turn puts more pressure on Dak to make plays, which I just don't think he can do it. Right? I just don't. Dak is what he is. He's not that great of a quarterback. Zeke has to play out of his mind in order for him to look good.
He's kind of like Tannehill, right? In that sense?
Yeah. No, he's not. He's worse. He's worse than Tannehill. He's not a good quarterback.
I'll take that as a compliment.
This is the second time this year that I feel like Philadelphia is actually starting to turn that corner. And with so little amount of games separating everybody in this conference, I think Philly wins this easy, takes over the division, and then takes over the division for the rest of the season. Wow. I'm going 5 units on Philadelphia with 3.5. Yeah.
Well, you are much more confident than me. Like I said, I'm playing Dallas in this one just because you make me pick a team, and you are throwing out max units on the other side. So, whew.
I'm gonna bang this bottle opener.
I don't think that's saying much for your member.
I'm gonna bang it.
I could not be less excited for this next game that we're going to talk about. So let's see if we can wrap this up in 15 to 20 seconds.
Yeah, I already had a plan for it.
Lions and Cardinals, what do you got?
Over because I like points and I don't care.
I love the reason. You wouldn't believe it, but the Lions were actually going to be a carded play for me on this one.
Oh, I didn't even give anything.
Then don't worry about it. The Lions, it's like 2.5. The Lions are favored by 2.5. 3. Ooh. Thanks for correcting me.
40.5 over under.
Well, guess what, DJ? If it's 3, I'll buy the hook. I'll make it 2.5. Lions win on a late second field goal, 6-3. I'm so fed up with the Lions offense.
6-3. Well, that one doesn't hit my over.
No, absolutely not. I hate that game. I was going to bet on it, and then the more I thought about it, I'm like, I'm betting with my heart because I feel like I'm some sort of closet Lions fan for some dumb reason. But no, I said no.
20-23.
Same thing. I'm putting my feelings aside on this one. So
You're a closet Lions fan because you love Kenny Galladay ever since he was drafted.
And I've always liked Matt Stafford, and I like Kerryon Johnson, too. So I'm just kind of...
I don't think I've ever heard you say anything good about Matt Stafford in my life.
I draft him every single year in fantasy. Okay, we went way over my limit for that game. This is the game I wanted to
over the limit under arrest.
This is the game I wanted to talk about because we're on opposite sides because I cheated and looked at your card here. We got the Rams and the Bears.
We just talked about it.
Rams and the Bears.
Okay.
Rams and the Bears.
We both have. Do you have this carded or no?
I do.
We both have this carded. Wow.
Yep.
Braylon's throwing footballs down the stairs like a baller. The over-under in this game is 51.5, playing in Chicago, and the Rams are favored by 3 points. You're about to hear my son yell. Yep.
There it went.
Figured.
You want me to go or you
ahead.
to go? Oh, you want me
go
to
ahead.
go? I'll lead it off here. I'll set the tone for you. I'll give you some points to have to fire back against. I got the Rams, -3, 2 units. Bears have a good defense. Once again, not breaking any news whatsoever. We'd all agree on that. They haven't been quite as shut down lately, though, as a lot of people would think. They're allowing 22 per game over the last 4. And look at those last 4. The Giants, the Vikings, and the Lions twice. Those are not elite offenses by any means. Now they get the Rams. That is an elite offense, obviously. 35 per game. They've only scored under 30 twice all season. The best thing about it, they won both of those games, proving that they don't need to score 1,000,000 points every single week in order to be competitive. And I know the Bears, the biggest thing about them right now and where I think you're going to go is Mitch Trubisky. He hasn't been playing, so that's probably where they've been lacking. And I get that. You need to keep an eye out for that. But this is basically another test of high-powered offense versus a good defense. Or is it going to be like that Saints-Cowboys game where the good defense did beat the high-powered offense? I just don't see it. I don't see him stopping the Rams consistently. And even if they stop him sometimes, I don't see them being able to score enough points. Aaron Donald's about to break the sack record from the defensive tackle position. That defense, it's given up a lot more. It's not near as good as I thought it would be. But I still think he can play when the game's on the line. And as long as this game doesn't go to 3.5 and above, I'm taking 2 units on the Rams.
Well, those are a lot of good points that I didn't hear most of because Braylon was kind of running around down here. The power of the mute button, it was amazing in that situation. So I got to keep Braylon and Braylon's grandmother off the podcast, so that was good. I'm taking the opposite side, though. I'm Bears +3 here versus the Rams. I truly think Mitch Trubisky here makes a world of difference in this Bears offense, and he's going to play. He's going to play in this game. This is a big game. Sunday night, they pretty much alluded to the fact that he's going to play. The Rams are playing against him. They've got playmakers everywhere. Nagy can run the plays that he likes instead of tailoring to a bad Chase Daniel, right? You have to change your whole offense when you have a quarterback like that. That's just what it is. You don't have confidence in him. You can't run the Rams type of plays that Nagy does and vice versa, like they did with Kansas City, right? So Kansas City, Chicago, Rams all have probably some of the most creative offenses. Hopefully Green Bay can join that, but no, couldn't before because shitty coach is gone. Anyways, also Chicago's defense I think will cause more fits than what the Rams have been used to this year. The Lions were getting to golf last week, and unfortunately for my fantasy football playoff life, if he had one more touchdown pass, I would have won. But he only had the one. He had an interception. He just didn't have a good game. Pressure was getting to him. Bears can do that plus more. They just get to the quarterback. That's what they do. You have Aaron Donald. The Bears have Khalil Mack. He essentially took them from a top 10 pick to winning the division. So no matter who he was being traded to, he was going to make a difference. He's a monster.
Yeah.
They've got Akeem Hicks. They've got guys. They've got Leonard Floyd. They've got everybody. They've got Eddie Jackson making pick sixes. They've got a Mukamara. They have the other corner, Kyle Fuller, who drops picks against the pack. They've got a lot of playmakers on that defense, way more than what the Rams do. But they can also slow it down if they need to a little bit. And they can do that with a guy like Jordan Howard, who they haven't really put out there. And I think they have that ability to slow down Darnold's pass rush because they have the ability to run a little bit more. And they have that creativity with the offense. I really like the Bears in this game. I actually think they can win this game. I'm going 4 units on the Bears. Bring it, bitch.
I like your points, but Jans are bigger.
Nice. That's an Office reference for anybody else.
That's all I've got because I talked about some of your points. You'll just have to listen back to what I said because you couldn't hear me on some of them. But man, I like that we have some differences, especially in carded plays. Usually in our carded plays, you can probably count on one hand how many times we've had differences on those this year. So that's good. It's got a little competitive game this week. The last game is Monday night, Seahawks and the Vikings. What's the scoop on this one?
I really don't know what to think about this game. This is a tough game for me because
me
these are two teams I hate worse than any teams in the NFL. So, this game is being played in Seattle. Seattle's favored by 3.5 points. the over-under is 45.5. Vikings looked below average last week against the Patriots. I was trying to give them the benefit of the doubt. I was trying to appease the Vikings fans a little bit, like, I'm not a homer. And then they go get their asses handed to them by an okay, but look better, a little above average Patriots team in the AFC. That was embarrassing, guys. That was really embarrassing. I'm really embarrassed by your performance. So you know what? I'm going to flip on the other side here. I'm taking the Seahawks 3.5 just to spite your pathetic performance against the Patriots. You pieces of shit.
Wow, the DJ's truth has been screamed.
Goddamn right.
All right, so normal against the spread here, or straight up here. I'm actually going to take Seattle against the spread. I'm with you. I'm actually going to take Seattle, but if you're holding my feet to the fire here, I'm actually going to take the over. This is not an official play for me by any means. The last 4 games the Seahawks have played have went over. However, if you look at the last 5 that the Vikings played, they went under. So something's got to give. I just think in this kind of game, I think it's going to be a little bit of a shootout. You never see the Seahawks out of a game. I swear to God, they're in every single game when it's all said and done. What scares me about maybe taking Seattle here is they win by 3. What you got to do, DJ, is you need to buy something. You need to buy the hook. If you're going to plan on taking Seattle here, buy the hookers. Buy every single one of those hookers because they could easily win this game by 3. So I don't like it either way. But if you're making me pick, I'm taking Seattle and I'm taking the over.
Pick that nose.
I think that's all of them. You got anything else you want to chat about?
Nope.
All right. Well, let's wrap this up then. You can follow us on Twitter at LoadedBox. Check out our website, loadedboxpodcast.com. If you missed the episode from earlier this week, we talk fantasy football. We talk daily fantasy sports, bargain stacks, general advice. Make sure you check out that. Subscribe on iTunes or Google Play or YouTube. Search Loaded Box, subscribe, rate, and review. DJ, send us into the weekend.